One of the most amazing parts about being human is our ability to communicate. The evolution of human communication has allowed our species to climb to the top of the food chain and create the globally connected world we live in today. One of the most impactful channels of communication we have in the modern age is social media. Everyone from your loved ones to your colleagues to even our planet's most powerful leaders use social media for many reasons, stretching from connecting with those we care about to making a lasting impact on a political climate. One of the most active demographics on social media are college students, and the ways in which college students utilize this medium is as diverse as the demographic itself. We conducted a study to determine how students from Ohio University are using social media. From the information gathered, we see that as people get older, they still use social media just as much as the younger students do. This information is intriguing because as the crowd ages, they tend to use social media for different purposes other than the typical social aspects that these platforms offer. Students start using social media for more information-based content. Information-based content meaning current events, news, and sports. Many older students seem to look for news-based content and even business information on the actual pages of some of the most popular news-based companies such as the Huffington Post and the New York Times. Some also use social media for running their own business. This enables students to target demographics while also keeping up with other businesses in their field. The majority of students use Instagram, and we think this is because Instagram allows for images and video content to be used directly within its own interface. Perhaps one of the most important uses of social media is how we use the media to make an impact on the world around us. We spoke with an Ohio University senior about how his short film, Dirty Laundry, directly impacted the university, and how he used social media and communication technology to make this change possible.
Is the washer even open?
That's an important thing that I should check. Watch out for the pancake splatter. Basically what we did, or what a couple of us did, was we made a video about how the laundry sucked here when we were freshmen. We would always go down there and we would do our laundry and we'd have to spend extra quarters to get the dryer to work properly, or the washer would like mess up our clothes or something like that, and we just noticed that there was a lot of problems with the washers and dryers. We already had kind of some inspiration to go on, and then when I got the project for my class where we had to make a short documentary about some sort of change that we would want to make, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to kind of like make fun of Ohio University's washer and dryer situation and how much it sucked and how much we were spending on it, because we were basically getting screwed. I was the actor in it, and then I had my buddy John film it, and we went down there and we just did the process of doing laundry at Bro on South Green and how long it took and how crappy it was. Put a little creative music in there, made it under 5 minutes, and then put it on YouTube. And I didn't think anything of it. Like, I showed my professor, got a grade back, and then a couple days later I get a call from Caldwell Gregory, which is the company that is in partnership with Ohio University for the washer and dryer. And they were basically just saying, we saw your video and it's kind of giving them negative feedback, and they would prefer it if it didn't exist. So they're gonna give me a $25 gift card to make up for all the money that I had spent, but they were just gonna give it to me and not all the other people in the building and all the other people that were getting screwed around OU. So I told them I would rather have the whole university change and for everybody to benefit rather than just me get a $25 gift card. So after that, they told me, good luck, because only so many people have seen it. So this is where the social media kind of came into play. I sent it to my professor and told him to email the entire class to watch it and share it on all their social media. I shared it on my social media, like I plugged it on Facebook, I plugged it on Twitter, so those are the main two that I use. And it ended up getting a couple hundred views pretty quickly. So I think Caldwell and Gregory maybe started sweating, and so did the university, because it had some information out there that they didn't want everybody to know. So I started talking with university officials about what we could do or suggestions that I had. I wanted it to be free, but ultimately the result was that it was, I think, 75 cents cheaper, which was, to me, it felt like I won the lottery. I thought that was the coolest thing ever when I was a freshman. But we still pay for it, so I guess it wasn't a total win, but it was definitely a good step in the right direction.
3 hours later, we got a load of laundry done.
And $4.25 or $4.50. $4.50.
In addition to the many ways Ohio University students use social media outside the classroom, the medium has had a profound impact on how teachers and students communicate and collaborate. We spoke to an Ohio University graduate student studying in the film school about how social media has impacted her role as a teacher's assistant as well as her role in the Athens, Ohio film community.
Well, as a teacher, we have access to things like Blackboard, which is really useful in giving students assignments and posting examples of good work and maybe examples of things not to do. And so instead of having to, send out individual pieces of paper, you just have it on that one central location and all the students know how to get it. So every year, Athens hosts this international film festival, the film and video festival, and it's really cool because all of the undergrads and the graduate students can come together and work on this project, this big film festival. It's gotten a lot of prestige over the years, and one of the things that we can do is promote it, and the ways that we do that are, both posting flyers everywhere and talking about it in our classes and things like that, and also by doing press releases. And us first years were assigned to do screening guides for certain groups of people that might be interested in certain kinds of films. So what we did was we would write the screening guides, and they're just lists of films. It's not anything that impressive. It's just a list of movies and their times and their directors, with this little blurb about why this group of people might be interested in it. And then David, the film festival director, will send those out to different professors or different community groups in the university. So I was responsible for doing the LGBT screening guide for their community. I submitted it, and I didn't hear anything from David, so I thought, it's probably good. No news is good news. I get back, because we met every Wednesday, at least I came in every Wednesday, to talk about, the progress. And David comes in, he's got this big smile on his face, and he's just like, the screening guides are great. I was like, oh, that's good. He says, yeah, especially the LGBT one. The LGBT one's gotten so many likes, and people are really excited about it, and it even made this one lady cry. So even being acknowledged to the point where we had a screening guide for them, and one that celebrated both the discrimination and the love that community is going through and or represents, really affected them on a deep personal level. And I think that even doing something small for your community, even something that I thought was insignificant, had a really large impact on these people's representation. And I think that's what social media can do. It can turn something small into something really big and really important.
That story of self-determination began 6 months ago in Tunisia. On December 17th, a young vendor named Mohamed Bouazizi was devastated when a police officer confiscated his cart. This was not unique. It's the same kind of humiliation that takes place every day in many parts of the world. The relentless tyranny of governments that deny their citizens dignity. Only this time something different happened. After local officials refused to hear his complaints, this young man, who had never been particularly active in politics, went to the headquarters of the provincial government, doused himself in fuel, and lit himself on fire.
We've seen how social media can create change locally, and I'm sure most of the world has already seen how profound of an impact it can have on the entire world. The revolutionary wave that swept the Middle East and North Africa from December 2010 to 2012, known as the Arab Spring, was largely influenced by social media. Before social media, many people living in this region of the world struggled to get their message out and struggled to form organizations due to oppressive governments. However, through social media channels such as Facebook and Twitter, many oppressed citizens were able to gain a voice politically as well as organizing groups and eventually plan protests, riots, and demonstrations. Social media didn't change how the people of this region felt, but it did change the way they were able to organize and get their message out, and their 2-year process saw almost 20 oppressive political regimes toppled. This proves that no matter whether it's big or small, social media allows us to make an impact and even help us fight for a better world.